Hello everyone. Today we're going to see in this presentation a state-of-the-art for planning and execution of U-turn or horseshoe wells. So there is a particular scenario where you have to maximize the drainage area in the reservoir. So for instance, in the United States, you acquire a surface lease, you only have the right to drain the equivalent at subsurface. So in order to maximize that drainage area, what you can do is just drill, for example, here 2 wells, you know. However, this option should be a little bit more expensive because you had to drill an additional overboarding here. Second option can be drilling multilateral wells. However, this can bring more complexity in terms of drilling engineering and operations execution. Or the third option is drilling a horseshoe well, where basically you drill a lateral, make a turn in azimuth in 180 degrees, and just drill a second lateral, and all the time just keeping your trajectory within the lease in subsurface and at surface as well. One of the main challenges of drilling this type of wells are mostly associated while drilling the turn, because in that case you are creating extra tortuosity that can bring issues in terms of torque and drag. The other thing is related with geomechanics, because the horizontal stresses can change while making the turn. So you can incur in some wellbore instability, you can start to observe some K-beams, or you basically have to keep an eye on that. Another thing that is important is related with the directional control and the tool fatigue of the directional tools as well, because basically it will be under high bending moments while rotating around this turn. There are multiple factors that have to be considered for planning and execution in this well. The first one is doing a proper outside well review. And it's not only based in high casting friction factor, it's also checking drilling practices, stripping practices, stop by events, so that can give us an idea of how the things are needed to be focused in the upcoming operations in the horseshoe wells. It will be great if it is possible having site support over there, just coaching the crews, showing them the best tripping and drilling practices in order to minimize the risk as much as possible. Geomechanics is very, very important, especially to develop a mode window model with different collapse gradients, and try to correlate that with any K-beams observed while making the turn. That is the most critical part. MPD is actually a very, very handy tool to be involved in the operations, because that helps to reduce a little bit the risk in terms of hull instability, and actually to managing the ECD below the fracture gradient as well. And there are in general the main things that had to be considered for the execution of this type of wells. There is an example of a recent campaign where Merlin was involved from the planning stage, doing all the engineering and geomechanics analysis, and in the operation stage where two advisors were on the rig, providing site support, recommending the best practices for drilling and tripping, and at the end the results were very well. No stop by, no loss in hull events. All the casings went down to TD. All these casings were floated casing, just to mention that as well. This is important. And almost 70 lessons learned were captured during the execution of this project. And it's not only lessons learned to reduce the risk, it's also to try to maximize the performance of the way to try to reduce the operational times in a safe manner. So in general terms, we can conclude that definitely this new approach of horseshoe U-turn wells is a way to maximize the drainage area where the lease is constrained or is reduced. But drilling this type of wells require a detailed analysis from an engineering perspective, and obviously requires fit for purpose operational practices to reduce the risk as well. So geomechanics, tool fatigue, hole instability, hole cleaning, all these factors are needed to be considered and are needed to be approached directly in order to minimize or avoid any stockpile loss in hole event. And obviously, proper hole condition monitoring will help a lot to try to maximize the ROP and drill these wells as fast as possible. Finally, I appreciate your time on listening to this presentation, and if you need some help, please contact us. We'll be pleased to help you. Thank you.